Thanks, shout out to Cloudfield for the pronunciations on these. But these guys, I've seen them in the Leaf League, actually, is when I was watching before. I had a little difficulty getting some of the top teams. Again, probably why they're down in the lower bracket here. Still a solid team. Like, they look like they know how to work together. Will it be enough against Xedec, who's already gone up against some of those upper echelon teams? Who knows?
All right, it's exactly as you said. Xedec has a chance to learn something from this Flipside squad they lost to. Hopefully they can bring that pressure now in against Copenhagen.
Well, we have them down to game number 1, as Lawler said, do or die. This is a best of 5. Whoever loses this series is donezo out of the RLCS. Whoever wins it will find themselves a spot in the European RLCS Season 3 League play. Xedec Nation, Copenhagen Flames down on the field, already getting underway with 20 seconds in. Already a chance for Abe to get a pass out. That defense is a little flustered right now on the side of Xedec Nation. They do manage to somehow scramble back down to the other end with a shot on net. Still a chance. Dan Hizzle with a shot on net. Abe had a chance to recover there. Waffle doesn't even give him a chance to try to make a save. Zensis will try to keep the pressure up. Moving back down the other end of the field. One player out of the way. Becca will be able to move that one down, though. Yosko to the wrong shot off the crossbar, almost dropping Bardowski.
Dan trying to set up shots, but 2 people committing on defense for it. Opens it wide up for the other side of this team, and Zen just wide open net.
We had 2 defenders there to Copenhagen blame on that one, and they let a goal in. We'll see 1-0 now with first minute in. Xedec Nation looking to walk away with this series. Lots of time left, though, for Copenhagen Flames to pull back. Nice pinch there, maybe a little bit too far. It was a nice pinch. Didn't really do the best for their team. Becca tried to recover that one. Zensis over to Dan, trying to get another play set up, extend their lead. Yoshkuk, the shot to the center. His teammates are way backed off, ready for a counter-attack. Should be able to turn this one around quickly, but Zensis maybe there a little bit too late. Abe losing out on that 50-50, at least stopped it. Kept that advance at midfield, but now finally CPH moving it down for an attack of their own.
You're seeing Becker air roll and play that ball perfectly with the nose of the car. Puts a little bit more power down into the corner, but it seems to be that Xedec doing a good job countering it back as they've maintained most of the possession so far this game.
Nice little pop out there from Dan Hizzle, but fortunately his teammates weren't there to help him out. We see kind of one person going in at midfield at a time here from both teams.
Net.
There it is. Waffle going to take credit securing that goal as he got a pass there from Becca, tying them up.
Yeah, Zensis, as you saw, trying to play that downfield. Actually, he was boosting after it, trying to catch up and get another tap. But because of Becca going up, able to play that down into Waffle, like you said, probably would have had the goal herself, but is able to get a pass down to her teammate.
Waffle in the corner, they're getting a boost and a demo, allowing that a little extra freedom on offense there. I wonder if they're going to stick to that trend and miss from Waffle. He'll back off into defense as Dan tries to set up a play for his teammates. Zensis off the backboard. Neil's right there for it. Don't know why he jumped, as Abe definitely had control of that situation. Becca with a shot, but up a little bit late. Isn't able to set anything up. He's trying that solo play, and look at this. Once again, one in at a time, but there, the post once again. CPH just a little bit wide. They're getting these chances now, and that might start to mount into some goals.
Well, last time I was up here with James, we were talking about how one of the teams needed to really utilize the opportunities that they were given, and it's probably going to come down to that too again. A lot of these teams, very subtle mistakes, but when it comes down to it, if you don't capitalize on them, you're basically throwing away your only opportunity to score, and it's going to make an easy win for the other team. Luckily for them, we're still tied up. 2 minutes left in this first match.
Good crossfield passing. The second touch from Dan almost made it to Zensus. Couldn't quite pull it off to get that play, but had it connected. Would have been incredible. I'd like to see more of that. Fast plays is what's going to confuse the defense of CPH. Becca tries to go out to Waffle. He'll back off. Moving in instead is a teammate. Abe was trying to keep it at that midfield mark. Ends up back down on their own end. Ping pong from both teams right now as they try to get control. Just kind of throwing the ball down the other end. You can see them looking for the plays, they're just not connecting.
Just like you said, though, ping pong coming down in the end. Usually that happens when they're throwing away possession. Rather than dribbling it or passing it with intent to their teammates, they're just basically hitting it to clear it downfield, leaves it open for the other teammates, and they just hit it right back.
Abe almost had that little dribble there. Waffle there to finish it. Defense took a while to get there. Fortunately for them, Niels does manage to put that aside for Xedec. But there was a good attempt there. Individual play almost set up a play, but with the final minute approaching, we're still tied up. Neither one of these teams really connecting with any real plays in front of the net, real scoring opportunities. We got a hug fest going down in the Copenhagen Flames end there. As Abe tries to set up a play, no one there. So they're still busy down the other end. Finally, Waffle upside down with a shot. Once again, one person at a time up for those individual plays. Becca finally trying to move up there. Might be a bit of an issue. Waffle has a chance here, but no one will be there. Probably to set it almost himself. A little bit too early on that touchdown. 35 seconds left. Still tied up. CPH definitely looked to be a little bit more dominant on the offense, but still very weak chances for scoring.
Yeah, a lot of it has to do with, as well, Xedec sending two, but a shot opportunity saved again by Neil.
Just on the goal line, that double touch off the roof to pass that one down. They almost were able to put themselves ahead with minimal amount of time. Would have been a great situation for CPH, but just couldn't connect with that ball. And now a chance for Xedec to finalize it, unless we hit an overtime here. Finally, there's Becca. Waffle following him off the corner, still scoring chance. Neil sends that actually right back to Abe, but he sends it way too far for any of his teammates. They'll have an overtime.
Both teams evenly matched, trying to battle back in, but as you said, a lot of it going down. Those touches off the ceiling, very difficult to read, but Xedec needs to be careful. They're sending two on some of these saves, and if Copenhagen really realizes it, they could punish these guys greatly.
Just like this. Almost. Becca almost put that one in. Trying to slowly to get a play started here. Pitch out to Abe. That's the start of it, but he got bodied out of the way. Xedec a slow pace in the corner here, just trying slowly to get that at least in the midfield, try to counterattack here, but Waffle is being a bit of a presence there, allowing his teammate to move in. That could be a shot right there as Waffle moves in and no one stays in net. Zensus barely able to get back in time.
Zen doing a really good job as well. That ball going up and over his net, doesn't commit to any boost or any jump. It allows him to settle, get back into net, and make that save.
Waffle the slow play there. It does give the boost to Zensus though. Abe's solo play almost gets the read there. Dan does pop it over his head. Now he has a 3-on-1 situation. They almost get the play connected. Waffle does intercept, and now a counterattack coming up from Becca. Almost able to finish that one. He's gonna have to stay on that, as Dan was ready to push forward, back down into their own end. A minute passing now in overtime between these two teams on game number one. Close opportunities, but always one defender finally at the last second intercepting these plays.
Yeah, Xedec doing a really good job making sure to be back on defense, but Copenhagen really picking up the pace. This offense from this last couple of seconds in overtime has been phenomenal.
Neil should touch out to Abe. That's a bad pass. If he set that a little higher, could have been a goal, but does keep it low. Defenders are able to stop that one out. Waffle, a high hit, gives him team some time to get back. He saw that Becca, I think it was, in a bit of trouble on the other side there. Dan with a play, and Niels right now, they could set something up. A pop out to Zensus, a little bit too close up on that short side there. Wasn't able to connect with a shot onto net. Still, no real plays connecting back and forth. Both teams trying, again, I said it again, but trying to get these plays set up. I see what they're trying to do. They're just getting stopped at every chance in the corner. Niels did get a block there, but this could be a pop around. Almost squeezed through all three defenders there. I think someone needs to slow down the play a bit to really throw off the defenders. Everyone's playing at the same pace about this whole time.
Well, we talked about conditioning, and now that these guys have been playing so very fast, slowing down is when it comes into play. It allows you to set up those mind games, those fakes, things that are just unexpected because they're so used to playing at this quick pace.
A lot of the aerial touches in front of the net that they're trying to set up passes are a little bit off. I think that's a bit of the issue that they're having with trying to set up plays to get a shot on net. Dan does manage to get that air dribble through Waffle. There's a pass out front. Zensus with the backflip, likely intentional. We saw up on the back there was Abe. As they managed to push that down to the other end. A shot on net, that's gonna connect. With 3 minutes into overtime, Copenhagen Flames walk away with our first win in this best of 5.
To believe that was only our first game and what it says that is in store for the rest of this series. These guys really showing that they don't want to drop anything, trying to clutch as quickly as they can, but pretty evenly matched.
Pretty evenly matched, yes. A little bit sloppy on some of the offense, I find. Like, they are able to break back out of their own end. Defense seems to be okay. They're blocking stuff. They're keeping things to the corner at least. it's when they get into offense. Both these teams have a little bit of trouble connecting with their plays, a little bit of trouble getting the touch. I mean, we saw at the end there, a touch could have turned into a play for the third in. I forget who it was that popped it up, but went a little bit too far to the side, and his teammate likely wasn't expecting that touch. Probably should have gone forward instead of backwards. And it's just those little differences that can make a play happen or not.
Well, you're looking at 11 saves for Xedec. And a lot of that has to do with Zen.
The defense was fine.
Yeah, Xenzus is rotating back, doing a really good job of offering that. It's just a matter of, like you mentioned, ping pong. A lot of ping pong action is happening between these two teams, and I liked what Dan started to do at the end. He air dribbled it after doing a spider clear. Like he popped it off, and then he followed it, got the block, and then continued with that possession. Too many times do we see these players, they're just clearing it downfield and then clearing it right back in. Maintaining that possession on the other side of the field is going to set up them opportunities and hopefully allow a couple more shots to come in.
Whichever one of these teams, I think, slows it down and gets those passing plays connected is going to be the team that really gets away with this. I mean, the defense can stop these individual shots that are coming on net. That's not really a problem for teams of this caliber. It's getting those shots to the side, the quick flanks, the misdirection that's going to set a team ahead. Tighten up these touches, either one of these teams. I mean, CPH had a lot of the control, I think, more so on the offense. They looked like they were starting to get things created a little bit more. Connecting with them is their next step, and they should be able to walk away with another win.
Definitely agree.
Game number 2 now between Xedec Nation and Copenhagen Flames. CPH taking that first one. Both these teams, once again, looking for a qualifying spot into the EU group stage of RLCS Season 3. One of these teams is going home. And Dunzo for the remainder of this season. CPH up 1 point in the series, trying to get another point in this game here. Abe, nice read on him to keep that at least into the play. But does get finally sent back down. Dan Hizzle is back to keep that one in. Waffle, shot on net. Xenzus, of course, able to stop that. A nice amount of pressure coming out. Abe just a little bit wide. Those are the plays. I like the pressure they're getting now. Tighten up those shots and you got a goal.
Well, there's no hesitation coming out from CPH right now. You see them attacking this ball with confidence, just like you said.
They realize, well, we can win this. We can stay on offense. Why not just stay there? Xenzus, misfortunate flick there. That's off the backboard. Might drop down. Dan does manage to get to the side. Could have been risky had Abe been back.
The dribble.
Further individual play from Abe, almost dangling that one around the defender. They do stop it out in time. Still remain at 0-0. Minute passing now. Waffle with a pinch pass. On the wall with a spider touch is Xenzus as he sends it to midfield. Dan tries to get the read, but couldn't quite get that under control. A good one there. A good dunk there from Neil. Sends that down to Dan, who sends that further into the CPH zone as they try to get a play started up, but it looks like CPH quickly trying to transition back down onto offense. They don't like being in their own end. Doing a decent job of keeping it at bay. No scoring opportunities yet for Xedec, but it is in their end, and they have to be careful. Because any one of these times a pass can get out to them, and there's the clear they're looking for.
Well, we saw it really early on from Xedec, starting to set up those infield pass plays and moving downfield, as you said as well. He connected with Dan, another chip upfield. That buys their team a lot of time, especially when it lost that high.
Dan looking for that demo, but it's one of those ones you maybe should have just backed off. He's out of the play a bit now. None of his teammates were around to create anything out of it. Dan needs to get this, but a bump there from Becca gives another chance for Abe to turn around. A touch, the pass the wrong way. We'll see if Becca can recuperate this one. Waffle way too far under that. He'll need to back off as Abe keeps the pressure on. Becca back for boost. This will be a chance now for Zach to move out as the pressure has been relieved from CPH. A chance to score themselves as they put it into the other end. Dan, mind gaming himself, I think, on that one. Puts himself a little bit too far. But a bit of a demo there. He falls on himself. That's going to float towards the net. Waffle. Everyone spawned back in time. Makes a save. 2.5 minute mark pass. Still scoreless in game number 2.
Well, back and forth, you see these teams coming together literally as they pinch that back to the other side. But look at the aggression coming out from Niels. Just trying to create something as he pushes his body in the way. He actually gets the block. But his team nowhere there to back up. But they're spreading the field pretty well.
Well, that's a lot of it. We saw it a bit at the beginning where CPH had a lot of pressure on. They're following each other up, but they haven't been able to break out of their own end lately, and that's going to be a crossbar hit, just staying out. Niels tried to throw it into the net. It was a power shot. A little bit off target. Xenzus now with a chance, though, puts it off the backboard. Niels looking for that second touch. Ooh, and Abe by himself. We've seen him do this before. Gets the pass. That's out front, in for Waffle. tries to find the shot. Becca's still there.
Oh, that
to the
placement.
far side. They slow play it. They watch for each other. Great play from them, and they find the back of the
One
net.
play after another coming out from CPH. You see the way that Abe jumps up, and he basically cuts off the angle for that ball to bounce up. Plays it back inside and out towards his teammate. Gets blocked, and then Becca with the shot, far post away from those two defenders. Very good placement, but with a minute and a half left, CPH really turning up the heat. I'm so sorry for that. I didn't even...
I said earlier it would end up being
man.
plenty.
That wasn't even planned, dude. I just apologize. That was bad.
They hang around Wave Punk too long.
Yeah, he's back and instantly go to puns.
Waffle now with Abe, trying to move this up, and I like Abe on the ground game. He's been super solid, really has good control with the ball, and I like he uses it to move it back onto offense, or at least keep it there. Kind of like we saw Pashy do earlier. See Becca with a hard clear. Abe trying to follow up behind, but sees Niels there to send that back into the box. No follow-up from his teammates, though. Now CPH moving down the field. Abe trying to get a bump on Niels. He can't come in, but it doesn't work. Niels will find a little bit of a roll-up to set it in and tie it up with only 44 seconds
Capitalizing
left.
on the mistake. Quick counterattack as well. And you see Zen come across. I think the person in defense was waiting for that hit, and because of it, just kind of flipped and put up a body in the way, and it didn't work out. Ends up sliding past, and then the follow-up. Tie this game up.
44 seconds left now. We're in the final minute of gameplay in game number 2. We'll see if it ends up heading into an overtime. Seen quite a few of those in the overall of RLCS, both NA and EU. A lot of these teams deserve to be here. And they're showing it completely even between a lot of these teams. CPH trying to defend right now. A shot on by Niels. Becca sends that back to midfield. Zensis getting in the way. I like to see the aggression now. Xedec starting to feel a good pace in the game here. A lot of pressure on and good touches from that midfield line. Look at that bump from Niels, but he sends himself flying, but it gives Dan a chance. No, a mistouch from him will be able to be stopped out by Waffle. Sent back down in the midfield. They're just trying to kill this advance from Xedec right now. Waffle might have put that in the wrong spot. Dan not in the right spot, though, to capitalize on that, and that sends down towards the end. Of course, Niels just going to set one on the ground for an overtime.
Game number 2, yet another overtime. These guys battling it back out, but pretty even still, even with Copenhagen pressuring as much as they have. Xedec has done a good job answering it and holding off on defense, but another shot on. Niels takes a save.
Waffle trying to get in the way, but Zensus does send it down. That's going to be a chip back, of course. Back off the back wall, stopped by Dan Hizzle. Good job. You don't want to let those passes come out. We did see Waffle there waiting in case it had. He'll move into the side anyways to try to keep this pressure moving forward. Abe, a lot of back and forth between the corner to corner, and I'm wondering if Xedec's going to run out of boost soon. It did spawn there. Waffle can't steal it in time. That will be now out to Abe as they're distracted for the boost in the corner. A little bit high of a shot. We've seen a lot of crossbars for CPH lately. Just can't find the back of the net. There's a shot from Niels, seeming to be that offensive power. Zensus out of boost, couldn't fall down to give another touch on that. A minute into overtime, still 1-1, of course. That's why we're in overtime. Now, as Xedec moves forward.
Thanks, John.
On to offense. They do have a little bit of a play start here, and Niels does get thrown out of the play, though. Back to midfield. That's going to be the hands of CPH, but Becca just gives it away. He had Waffle there to support him. Probably should have tried to set up a play. But again, the ping pong. They throw away the possession.
Oh! Okay, there's Dan back there. I thought that was going to be the craziest dunk.
They are on offense still. CPH with a lot of the pressure. Abe trying to get out, give room for Waffle to move in. Minute 30 into overtime. Still no real shots on net. Said almost a dunk from CPH there, but it didn't find it. Is that going to be on net? It will, but Waffle greets that one in the air. Niels off the back. Dan and Zensus ready for that touch. That's going to be a pop-up for Dan if he gets a soft touch down for a pass, but he tries for the shot instead. Fairly easy save there for Waffle. Abe to follow up, send it down. More passing plays we need to see. As I said, they had a chance there. All three were set up. Opting for the shot instead, an easy save. 2 defenders in there. 2 minutes of overtime. Once again, I think we hit 3 in the last game. Might hit that mark again. Xedec and Copenhagen Flames looking to take this next point. CPH up 1 in the series already. These are qualifying spots for the EU League play.
Redirect opportunity.
Waffle just sends it right back to the midfield instead, though.
Ends up paying off. It actually maintains the possession back to the team. Not the worst touch, but could have been played better.
Dan had a chance there. Nice little tip to the side from Waffle. We'll see if Becca can be the one to set up a play. Tries for a read. Sent to the far side, a passing play. Dan missing that, and I've seen a little more whiffs than I'd like to see out of Dan in the last 2 games here.
Yeah, some of it comes with the risk of being aggressive. He's just trying to create something, and a part of that is he's just throwing his car in the way, but a shot coming out saved by Abe.
Once again, back and forth ping pong. Teams really need to take control of this, but I think with the pressure on, they're not thinking about that at this point. They're scared. They know one goal will spell a win for the other team, and they're trying to be careful.
Well, Xedec gets so close. Just that last shot, you saw the last rotation barely getting there to make that save. And a lot of it has to do with the way that Xedec is applying pressure now. They're stretching this defense thin, and as soon as they get that opportunity where boost deny is becoming an issue, they then get to clear it out. If they could just hold on for one more hit, you'd see Xedec's probably going to sneak one in, but Copenhagen living up to it.
CPH back in their own end once again, as he said, as Xedec throwing some pressure on here. Off the corner will be a touch out by Becca. If he can get it, he does. Dan almost had a chance to set that up for Zensus. Niels waiting in the midfield line, taps that one back to their corner. Allows Zensus to boost up. Dan ready for that forward pass, but a weak touch there. We'll leave it into the hand. Dan Sizzle almost getting a play started up. That's going to be an open net. If Abe can get it, one defender, a pop up high, Zensus will get in the way. That was the breakout chance they needed. Maybe a misdirect passing play, but 2. CPH is out of the way, a 3-on-1 situation. Baked is trying to get in the way of at least one of them. It ends up working out for them. CPH with a demo there. Waffle flick pass straight into 2 attackers. All the manpower on that one. Still 4.5 minutes now into overtime. And this is just ridiculous back and forth. These guys got to be sweating.
Yeah, almost another full game of gameplay here. But these guys are starting to get aggressive. They understand that the rotations aren't doing anything, so what do we got to do? Let's stop them. We're going to go for the demo, but yet another shot on net saved by Waffle in a dangerous spot. Coming together yet again to clear it out. And back and forth between these 2 teams. It's probably going to just come down to one mistake, because right now they're both playing really well.
We are approaching that 5-minute mark. I know last time this happened, we had a countdown. That was really fun. We had 7 minutes as the record overtime in the RLCS. And I wonder if we're going to hit that as these 2 teams, or if this counts. It's not in league play or anything, but still 1-1. CPH and Xedec Nation. Shot almost going on net. I think almost a mistake from a teammate there. Here's some pressure now. Becca up for a touch, but wide on that touch. A whiff causing them to head back into their own end. 3-on-2 now. Dan trying to set up a play. Shot to the far side. No record overtime. We hit 5:26. And Xedec finally ending another regulation time game with 2-1.
Waffle has a slight hiccup as he's rotating back rather than letting his teammate come out for it. And because of that, it allows the Xedec team to play it into the corner, and it bounces perfectly back into the middle for them and allows a shot, places it far post, gets the game winner. And we are now tied up in the series. It has only been, technically it's been 3 games, almost 4. Due to the time, but
everybody go grab some popcorn and drinks. We're going to be here for a while. These 2 teams, I think it's fair to say these 2 teams are sort of evenly matched.
I agree, but they're also making the same mistakes.
Well, evenly matched. They are definitely good. Like, that was nuts. That was insane. Back and forth, scary spot. But again, we talked about a lot of things that they should be doing, but we're just commentators who knows what we know. But they should.
Hopefully a little bit. But
no, they should be getting a little more of those passing. I mean, I don't see enough passing. You see those single shots.
Right.
One guy off the wall tries to dribble it in. I mean, Abe. I really want to see Abe get that ground game going on. We've seen him be able to do that. Slow the pace, get the ground game, get a flick up to a teammate that's following behind, get a shot on net. Couple misdirects. Taking these shots on net clearly isn't working. Look at all the saves. It's not going to happen this way.
Right.
You need to set up misdirection.
Well,
shots on aren't going to work.
Well, they started that at the very beginning of the game. You saw Xedec starting with some big clear, and they really slowed it down actually with those passes. They were playing it infield and then just using it to move upfield. And I would like to see them slow it down, like you said, when they're on the offensive side, because it's going to set up more opportunities. It's going to force this defense of CPH to move into their area.
Yeah.
And if they win a 50-50, okay, you drew someone out, so now there's nobody else in goal, or there's only going to be one person in goal, and then it still gives you the opportunity if you win that 50-50. They need to force something, and so far, just putting shots on net isn't doing it for them.
Well, we'll see if things will be just the same coming into game number 3. We're only on game number 3. That one went to a 5.5-minute overtime. Xedec Nation, Copenhagen Flames tied up in the series now 1-1. Not quite at a match point. Whoever wins this will be at match point. That's how it works. Becca trying to set up that first goal. Gotta be exhausted after that one, but every game is different. Damn! Double tap, not able to put that one on target. Setting the pace for this one. Xensis with a giveaway there. Possession will go into the hands of Abe as he flicks that one far to the other end. That bounce down might not be good for Xedec, but they've managed to turn it around. What a counterattack right in the center. Dan able to turn that one around. First goal in just under a minute.
You see Xedec mixing it up in two ways. One, that first play that they had was a clear with both team members playing it upfield. Before, in the previous game, they started to do demos. Here again, they're stuffing the box, playing defense, and then going for counterattacks because of how much aggression that CPH is putting out. Mistake on defense, they're able to capitalize on it.
There it is, our first goal early on. See if CPH can answer that one.
What is going on in this corner?
Hot potato. But there's going to be a shot for Dan. Abe does manage to get that one to the side there. Flick by Nielsch keeps that one alive. The dream is there for Xedec. Off the wall comes Nielsch. Oh, he pushed to the side by Becca. Waffle, not sure what he's trying to do here. I think had no boost, just wanted to touch the ball.
Got to touch it twice, so he must be happy. Hit his quota.
That's my quota for the game, guys. I'm done.
Hopefully none of us are going to be in trouble.
I think you could go for demos, I guess.
You got to get involved somehow if you can't touch the ball.
Minute almost passing from that first goal. CPH has yet to answer that one. Becca getting a touch on his teammates, says get over there, get that boost. We got offense, but he backs off quick. And Waffle got the touch. A giveaway. I'd like to see a trap there in that situation. Pull it through the midfield. Control the ball in front of the net. Xensis the third in, way too far back, but psychs out Abe, who thought the shot was coming in.
Just like you said, slowing it down on offense. It's what they need to do. And look what it did. Bought him all the time. Dan was able to go back and get some boost. And now Niels and Zen both in the area to make a play. It looks like Zen's going to back off as he's afraid of the aerial.
100 P as it ends back down in Xedec's end. CPH trying to make a play one-on-one. Could have been a scary spot there, though. We have a goal now. Dan somehow did that. How'd that make it in? That's ridiculous. Oh, there it is. Okay, just a hard shot. It looked like Becca was trying to go for the boost on the side, wasn't able to get back in time. They extend their lead now. Xedec is running up a 2-0 situation with almost 2.5 minutes left. CPH can pull this one back, but I mean, at the beginning it looked like CPH was going to take the series. Now Xedec kind of turning it around.
Right, we talked about making those mid-game adaptations, and the way that they play it, like a couple changes here and there, they're slowing it down a little bit and making good decisions, both on offense and defense. Like I mentioned, Zen, he was going to go for that aerial, but he realized, you know what, I'm probably not going to get it, so rather be safe than sorry. Rotates back, makes the clear, and then they move it back upfield.
Becca there now with support from both his teammates, but they both wanted the boost. They'll be out of position to get this ball at midfield and have to go back to their own end. Seen a lot of boost over ball situation from CPH. That's going to need to change if they want to have any kind of attack here. Waffle to himself, but stopped by Dan. Becca to the far side. Nielsch and Zensus moving up. That could be a backward pass to the far side, though. It does get stopped out by Abe, and Becca was able to push that back to midfield. Becca Waffle slowly waiting on the ground there. Waffle up now for a shot. Zensus does clear that one. He makes the ball in the air first. Abe around the far side. Minute 30 left, still 2 up, but that's going to be a goal. Abe able to put that one in. They find a 1-goal differential at this point.
Yeah, you see the goal and the clear trying to come out. Neil was in a weird spot, has to rotate and try to make a play. Ends up bouncing off that wall and going back inside perfectly for Abe. Gets a shot. Neil just missing on that clear, because if he would have got that clear, would have popped it good up in the corner and probably would have had the catch over the top.
Neutral 50-50 there. Zensus will come off the wall. Over to Dan Chisel, a shot on net. They re-extend the lead back to 2 with only like in 3 seconds here. And this is why we say that kickoffs can be a momentum changer. Look at that. You find the pace. You see that your teammates or your opponents, don't have boost. And there's a shot on net. 3-1 now. Copenhagen Flames thought they had it. A much closer game here. Approaching that final minute gameplay. I said it before. The most you would ever want to be down, well, it's usually none, but only 1. Gets harder as you have 2 goals down in the final minute gameplay. You got to start committing a lot more to offense. We'll see if they can create some offense here. They keep getting greeted around that box there. Ooh, scary spot there for Waffle. Almost got thrown in by Dan. Off the wall, Waffle needs a good touch, but doesn't follow that up nicely himself. Becca with a shot in front, but again, a lot of throwing the ball at the net and expect something good to happen isn't going to work out for CPH. They need to start creating some new situations. I see too much of the Copenhagen same here as they keep finding themselves back in their own end. Xedec setting up another play. 30 seconds left. They just have to hold on to this 2-goal lead.
Yeah, back and forth. You see a redirect, puts it inside, almost getting the shot. But look at these guys trying to come together. Passing plays coming out back and forth, not hesitating. They're just trying to close this out. Clock management coming into play in the last 20 seconds. And they're actually not laying off. It's actually interesting to see. We see a lot of teams just back off. But if they can get away with stuff like that, it's why not?
There's it's not 4-goal lead. That's bad math. 3-goal lead. 17 seconds left. Xedec looking to take this one. This will put them at match point.
Yes, looking very well between these two. Trying to basically close it out, but at this point, like, Xedec turned it on. Like, they were looking kind of sluggish, Copenhagen Flags on the offense, and then out of nowhere, they've just been like, yeah, this is our game to win.
Almost trying to get another one there. They will finish it off with style, maybe. At least one more goal for the Copenhagen Flames. Might be nice to move into game number 4. We'll see if they can get it, but no, it looks like it will probably die out in the corner here as Xedec Nation will take another point off the Copenhagen Flames, and this is a rough spot for CPH because, well, it's do or die.
Well, in our first moment, we didn't go to overtime, and I don't know if that's going to be the swing that Xedec is looking for. I mean, obviously, it's in their favor, but are they going to be able to keep it up? Is Copenhagen going to be able to do the same thing Xedec just did to them?
I don't know. This is rough, and like, after a long series like this, you start to feel it, and it looks like Copenhagen Flames are starting to be Copenhagen drained. It's just wearing on them, and I don't know if they're going to be able to keep up the pace. Xedec is starting to don't look at me like that. Starting to pace forward.
So bad. Like
they've all been bad so far. Xedec is starting to pace up. They started to get some passing plays. They just put more pressure on. They started thinking about those touches, where CPH wasn't.
Well, a lot of it had to do with the way that Copenhagen initially was pigeonholing this team. At the very beginning, they had I think it was 14 shots in the first game or something like that.
A lot of shots.
And there was 12 saves or something. It was insane. It was a lot. And it's completely changed. Now that the pressure has been relieved, Xedec was doing a good job on defense, and now they've transitioned that into offense, and then the defense is still there. They're becoming more of a complete team. And a lot of it has to do, just like you said, slowing it down. We want to see possession. In the midfield, it's still kind of iffy. Nobody's really trapping it. They're just pushing it down and then trying to control it. Yeah. But if they were to control that midfield as well and bring it up as a unit, it could get really scary.
Well, I want to touch on it again. I've said it, and I said it in the last game too. On the field, we have people that can play with the ball. We know that they can bring the pace down and slow it down. And I really want to see Abe do that. I know they can do it. They can control it on offense, create those plays, but they're not. They're just hitting the ball away. There's no traps going on. They flip into everything. You need to stop flipping and get control of the situation. We have our final game now, Xedec Nation versus Copenhagen Flames. This is our first lower bracket qualifying spot. One of these teams is going home, and at this point in the scoreboard, it looks like Copenhagen Flames, unless they can pull it back together. Xedec Nation looking for that match point to get themselves a league play spot in the EU RLCS Season 3.
Well, it looks like Neil's going to go back to playing that demo game early on, and it just breaks down rotations. As soon as you take that person out, anything that they were planning to do now has to be reset as they still back on defense, just trying to clear it out. But just like that, there's nobody pressuring him. He's got someone next to him. He could probably dribble that up and then try to go for a pop, but still a little bit dangerous in hindsight. If he gets that 50-50 loss, it's in front of his net.
CPH is holding off an attack from Xedec right now, but might not be enough. Look a little bit sloppy again, just hitting the ball with no real idea on where that's going to go and what they're going to do with it afterwards. Misser from Abe, he gets the boost and backs off. Maybe should have stayed up for a pass. Not much forward thinking. They're kind of reactionary at this point. Abe puts one in front of the net, and that'll be shot. Back and coming in to finish that one off. And that'll be a first goal in the game. 1 minute in, a nice little touch there. Finds the short side. Defender almost was able to stop that one, but what are you going to do? You got to rush across that. You got to guess where they're going to put that ball. Unfortunately, it was the wrong guess there for Xedec. CPH finds himself into the lead. A Copenhagen maim there from Waffle onto Nielsch. They'll find themselves in a weird spot, though. Xedec didn't care about the demo. They almost got themselves a goal there. Defender barely giving that out. Nielsch has a chance. Puts it the wrong way again, though. Look at all the CPH members. They are stuck in the same spot. They need to spread out a bit. Get the clears up the wall or something high to be able to find themselves onto offense. Again, Waffle almost finished that one off. Actually would have been some highlight material there, but wasn't able to get the read properly. I think ran out of boost. 2 minutes are passed now. We're almost passed in this potentially last game here, game number 4. Xedec does lead 2-0 in the series. Copenhagen Flames only 1 point. They're trying to bring it to a game number 5. They are in the lead right now. If they can maintain that, they will find a game 5. There's a lot of time left now for Xedec to be able to pull this one back. That was a chance there for Nielsch. I'm sure Zensus thought that was going in. Off the backboard, that's going to be a pass. Ooh, good touch from Waffle to keep that one to the side. Still the only defender. Where are his teammates right now? That was a rough situation there for CPH.
Well, still, you see Xedec not falling back on that they are falling back on defense, but they're not failing to do so. As soon as that ball gets cleared, he's going to get it over the top.
That's going to make it. Dan Hizzle with the assist there as he pops that one up for Zensus just over the last 2 defenders. Abe.
I mean, I was scared with that flick because when he hit that, it went back towards his own net. Luckily, Dan was able to pop it up enough.
I saw that originally,
and it was just a split second. He's just like, oh, okay, I guess this works, and goes up and hits it. And unfortunately for the defense of CPH, misses out.
There's another lob towards the net. Nielsch is going to finish it this time. He's had a couple opportunities, and he's looking for some points this time around. Now pulling themselves into the lead. That was a quick turnaround. Now Xedec with the upper hand.
Like you said, just a matter of seconds. We go from being down by 1 to up by 1. And that's the crazy thing about Rocket League is you see this stuff out of nowhere. It can just change in a split second. And with this much time left, it's still anybody's game. But to emphasize it, like if Xedec clutches this, they're in. That's all they need to do. And with this kind of pressure, Niels is going to capitalize on it.
Yeah, he does. I said he had a couple opportunities before, and he's upset that he didn't get them.
They hurt you, man.
And now they're here. 2 goals in a row, potentially looking for that Hattie as we have 2 minutes left. Still many more goals to come. We saw 4-1 win before. We know they can get more. This could just be a bad situation for CPH.
I like the team play. Unintentional, though. Niels bumping Zensus so he can fly all the way over to the side boost. Getting it a little bit quicker than having to drive. Teamwork.
Teamwork makes the dream work. We need to see more of that in this series because it's been fairly lackluster as of the past few games. 150 left now. 3-1 for Xedec Nation. Copenhagen Flames trying to hold off an attack, but they can't. And the steamroll starting to come in for Xedec.
Yeah, they're feeling really confident here. Just kind of all over the field. You see Zen, even though he's having to rotate back as the last man, he makes sure to take some boost on his way back. You see the pressure coming through Dan. It's that confidence in this team. We talked about how important chemistry was yesterday. And they have that. Like, as soon as you have the ability to go and actually boost an eye, and you just believe that, you know what? My teammate Dan is going to hit this. I have no problem with this clear possibly being detrimental. Not a big deal. It frees up so many opportunities for this team.
3 goals down. They try to bring it in. That was an incredible play, but it wasn't connected by Waffle. As you said, so close. Good stuff from Abe, but it's not going to be enough. 5-1 now for Xedec, and this is just not the Copenhagen game for CPH.
No, these guys popping off one after another, forcing this defense thin like we mentioned. Those shots on top as well, really difficult to read. Is it going to hit bar and go in? Is it going to hit the backboard? And the problem is he's leaving it up to chance. You need to make sure you connect on those, otherwise you saw what happens. Neil's going to be in the middle, he's going for a shot.
Neil's going for another one. They're going to see if they can get the Brazil. They have the chance. They saw the flags before in the chat, and they wanted to do it themselves.
6 unanswered goals in a matter of a minute and a half.
Yep.
That's Rocket League. In a nutshell, they can just go off at any second.
Tilt.
I mean, or maybe Xedec's just playing really well now.
Maybe.
Or maybe it's tilt, yeah.
6-1 with a minute left. Could be a lot of things. But all that matters right now, Xedec is looking fairly confident that they're going to be taking the next league play spot.
Yeah, at this point with a minute left, very, very difficult to get behind kind of the efforts of Copenhagen. But they did play well initially. It's just a matter of this is the kind of stuff that they needed to do earlier. Well, you just ruined, 'cause Brazil hasn't even happened yet. You can't.
No, but it could have been there. The chance has been ruined. I'm upset.
You were upset last time too. It's fine. You'll get over it.
Still
Maybe not.
upset.
Oh.
50
so
seconds
sad.
left. Hey, you know what? Maybe this is the best comeback in the world right now.
If it happens, I'm gonna lose my mind. Like,
I would freak out.
Channel 9 or Carpet.
I might be as loud as Carpet, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that's possible.
We'll see if they can hold it off or get a couple more goals for their stats here as they're looking to get a league play spot. Xedec Nation sitting up 2-1 in the series. If 4 goals are not answered in 30 seconds by Copenhagen Flames, Xedec will be taking our 5th spot in the EU league play. 30 seconds left. It doesn't look like Copenhagen's getting anything started up at all, especially when they do that. I think at this point they might be like, all right, guys, we're done.
Yeah, and it's just getting worse. You see, they've kind of, like you said, I wouldn't even say it's still. It's almost as if they've just given up. Like, they understand what's going on here. And at that point, it's like the sportsmanship and stuff is definitely there. It's just, why not go out with a bang? Like, try some crazy freestyle or go with your coveted spin-a-rooney dirty dangle move or something. I don't know.
I guess you could spin a Rooney a dirty dangle. That's some next level stuff, though.
I mean, if someone's going to do it, why not these guys?
I ain't never seen it before. It's legendary. As we have 5 seconds left, that's going to be it. Xedec Nation, going to be your next league play spot. 4.
I know you're excited, but
Now I'm upset.
you're so excited you're upset.
For the EU league play and the RLCS Season 3, congratulations to Xedec Nation, putting CPH to Copenhagen shame.
Unfortunate for them. They tried their best, but it wasn't enough. Xedec really turned it on. They transitioned after that first game and just went lights out. There was something about that, winning that overtime, that second overtime, that really turned them on. They figured something out. It clicked.